Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the SFL Season 24 Free Agency Frenzy. I'm your SFL Commissioner back here at headquarters, Cameron Irvine, and it's already been a frenetic day. There's the updated map, the Sin City Samurai, the newest additions to the SFL by way of the Canton Classics. Their logo in development, but they are ready to compete and have been building behind the scenes as things shake up there. The Washington Tridents are a part of the Western Conference and ready to get their first signings across the wire tonight. The Oklahoma City Renegades, what will they do? They are now a part of the Central as Denver moves to the Central Division. Lexington in the North, Queen City winless last season. How can they improve on their squad? And that rough and tumble East Division, everyone with a 500 record or better last season. Chat shoutouts. Let's get to it before we refresh the page and get you caught up on the early goings of free agency. Keith Wheeler, Iggy, Michaela Foraker, Miranda Dumas, John Fullerton, Ronnie Shanahan, Matthias Citrion, Talon Steele, Chad Stinson, Robert Henson, Zach Holdorf, King Enderman, T to Queens in the house, Mac Dre, D3 Cade is also here. Jamal Kimbrell is in the house. John Lakeman, Ronnie Shanahan, many others. All right, let's get this show started. All right, so the first free agent that came across the wire tonight was Sir Ron Yates IV. Yates spent a brief season in Indianapolis before moving to the defending champs. So the defending champs get us started. Now, earlier in the day, we had over 100 re-signings. We'll have a chance to get to some of them tonight as we get throughout the show. But, of course, this show is called the Free Agency Frenzy, and we're focused on some of the biggest headliners across the league. Here we go. Our first refresh of the page tonight. And, wow, we've got a lot of signings. A lot of signings have come across the wire in terms of re-signings. Let's focus on those new names in yellow. Jay Viper is headed to Denver. Signed with just along with Dylan Lewis as well. But Jay Viper will be heading to Denver. Played with Motor City last season. You can see his contract just shy of $1 million. Jacob Morrison signing off the developmental team, but re-signing with Mexico City was a big part of their championship run. Matthias Citrion leaves Chicago and is signing with Indianapolis at $1.2 million. Andrew Gibson leaving Canton and signing with Indianapolis and moving to running back. So Andrew Gibson getting a taste of that running back life, and he is maxed out in a lot of places. Over $5 million. Mike St. Green can't log into the portal. Somebody get that man some help with technology. It's a struggle. Make sure you're going to the right place, my friend, and make sure you're messaging the bot. Andrew Gibson, $5 million at running back. That is a huge signing for Indianapolis. There. Ted Haynes, leaving Queen City. Not a good start for the Corsairs tonight, signing with Denver. The Denver Nightwings, busy. You get the sense that maybe, just maybe, the Denver Nightwings are about to have their best season they've had in a long time. They had a lot of momentum last season with some new staff coming in. A rejuvenated Denver Nightwings team, busy early on tonight in free agency. Ted Haynes signs for just shy of $2 million. Ronnie Shanahan leaving Albuquerque to go to the DC Dragons. Not a ton of value on his contract, but Shanahan is an up-and-comer, and DC desperately needed the wide receiver depth after last season. The offense really struggled to get going with a thin wide receiving core. Robert Henson Jr. is back in Minnesota after signing off the dev team. Jamarcus Lamarcus, the 17th, I think, leaves Charleston and goes to Indianapolis. We might see that in a few spots tonight, as a lot of Indianapolis's staff, or I shouldn't say a lot, but the staff split between Charleston and Indianapolis. So he goes over there, as does DeBrickashaw Molyneux, signing with Indy at $528,000. Here's the first one for Queen City. Nate Hall leaving Chicago and going to Queen City at a contract of just over $1 million. This is Queen City's first big signing. Now, you might notice a handful of logos tonight are a little bit outdated. We have submitted our request to our programmer to get that stuff fixed. Unfortunately, wasn't ready for tonight's show, so just bear with us. But Nate Hall leaving Chicago, going to Queen City. That is a big pickup for the Corsairs. The Corsairs, a few other re-signings: Morgan Brown, Joseph Budette, Bob Wood, but this is the big one. A new quarterback, Michael Brown, leaving Pittsburgh and going to Queen City at a $2.4 million price tag. Brown has max leadership and will try to lead Queen City to their first victory in over 6 months. They are in desperate need of a rejuvenation there. Charlie Baker, leaving Indianapolis and going to Queen City. He'll be a running back there, $2.7 million, with that near max speed, max composure. So Charlie Baker, new to the Queen City backfield. That is an interesting one there as well. A ton of signings across the wire for Carolina and Fort Worth as they re-sign everyone. Let's take a look. Last 100 signings, the top salaries on the books. Oh, actually, does not appear to be sorting correctly. So we're just going to have to do the old eye test. Henry McGee, $3.48 million. Of course, Andrew Gibson was the big one in Indy, over $5 million. I think they're going to have some cap space to play with here tonight. $3.1 million to Riley Quintero. He is back in Carolina. A lot of pieces back in Carolina. Let's see. 2.6 goes to Gerald Cumbus in Denver. Aquana Shine is back, $2.5 million. 3.2 to Bailey O'Shaughnessy in Denver, trying to have a bounce-back season. Caleb Richards gets a fat contract from the DC Dragons at 2.5. Liam Ryan is back in Mexico City at 2.4. 2.5 for Biff Markham of Bossier City. And again, these are just signings as of about 5 hours ago. All the signings from earlier in the day have gone off the page already. Ray Bentley was the first to sign in the Season 24 campaign. Merrick Itera is back for the defending champs as well, 2.4. Nick Hoagland is back in Charleston at 2.4. Our first guest of the night is coming on in about 5 minutes, Stephen Black of Minnesota, and he'll talk about the Minnesota legend coming up. But first, let's bounce around to some rosters around the league of interest. Let's see if we can get here we go. Let's look at Denver here real quick, because they've made some noise here early on. They have 12 players under contract right now at $19.1 million. There you can see their current lineup. Little light on safeties at the moment, but shaping up pretty good there for Denver. Trellis Blanton is the quarterback. I think that is that new across the wire? Blanton now the now starter in Denver for the Nightwings. So interesting development there. Hey, let's look at Queen City here for a sec. They have 13 players across the wire here early on tonight, and already 4 wide receivers signed to the squad, led by Ryan Davis, who really gets his shot. This is his opportunity to possibly be a wide receiver 1 for the first time. Ace Ketchum has also signed back with Queen City, so it looks like their backfield is filled out. Queen City looking to have a bounce-back season. Another team that might be in for a bounce-back season, how about Pittsburgh? They have 10 signings across the wire. including their new quarterback, Ace Fenech, $2.8 million. I believe that just came through. So Ace Fenech, a huge signing for Pittsburgh as he leaves Bossier City and that franchise that he's been with for ever since he was drafted, behind for something new. So big signing there for Pittsburgh. That's a look at a few of those new teams. The Sin City Samurai announced earlier today. No players across the wire just yet, but they are working on it. You can see that the signings coming in hot in real time right now. Let's go back to the contracts and see what else we have across the wire. Since I have been speaking, we've actually had plenty come across the wire. How about Connor Weston is out of Pittsburgh, and he is now with the DC Dragons, $3.65 million. Connor Weston, the Season 23 Offensive Player of the Year, is going to a new team, the DC Dragons. That is a huge pickup for the DC Dragons here tonight as they try to get back to the postseason. That is a massive contract. We just talked about Ace Fenech. Hey, Mike Twinscrew's going there as well. Former Louisiana Revolution player, $2.9 million. General Manager Keith Wheeler will be on later tonight with us for Pittsburgh, and he'll be able to discuss a lot of these exciting signings that they've got. Chicago's been busy. Topher Kiefer, the kicker from Indy, is going to Chicago. The punter, Philip DeField from Indianapolis, also going to Chicago. Manning, he is an excellent player. Miliotis Manning from Indianapolis, $2.3 million. He's made a name for himself, did make a name for himself in that aggressive Indianapolis defense, and now he is going to Chicago. Hey, welcome back, Baloo Scott. Baloo Scott back with the organization. $2.87 million will help a Chicago team that is in desperate need of a run game to help out type attack. Isaac Knox back off the dev team with Minnesota at $1.44 million. There's that Trellis Blanton signing, formerly of Queen City, now in Denver, $1.8 million. Iman Kopech's going to be your starter in Charleston, I believe, as we'll find out throughout the night, later tonight, what's going on with all of that. Ryan Davis in Queen City, we talked about a big pickup for the Corsairs. And a lot of returning faces to Albuquerque. Kyle Finnemore is a new face, signing from Chicago to Albuquerque. And before we get to Stephen Black, I want to get back to the. Let's take a look here at what is going on in Chicago. This is what Chicago's roster looks like right now. They have 12 players signed, including 4 new faces. So a lot of turnover in Chicago as they try to find some stability. Albuquerque gets their first signings across, and they're looking pretty good too. They have also picked up Neil Rivers, just came across the wire. Neil Rivers from Canton is headed to Albuquerque on a $1.38 million contract. So a big signing there from Albuquerque. You just cannot take your eyes off of the transaction wire right now, as Ziggy Roenick is going to Pittsburgh following his quarterback Ace Fenech, or previous quarterback Ace Fenech. They reunite as Roenick was in Louisiana last season. B. Robo is leaving Bossier City. He's going to DC. Wow, the DC Dragons, $2.9 million. Talk about a totally reshaped offense. B. Robo is going to DC, and look at T. DeQueen back with her husband in Chicago, Doug Day and the Warriors. So T. DeQueen leaves the crowded Minnesota wide receiving core and goes to Chicago at $1.98 million to help out there. Majors and Burr are back. Let's look at the DC Dragons here for just a moment. They get 3 new wide receivers in free agency. Sam Harrison is back. Chuck Steller is back in that backfield, and overall 13 signings for the DC Dragons here early on. Sam Falco's also crossed the wire for Atlanta. He's come through. All right, so now we're going to get Stephen Black on the line, and we're going to take just a short break while we do that. The free agency frenzy here on the Virtual Football Network will continue in a moment. On the phone with us now is Stephen Black, the general manager of the Minnesota Legends. Sorry, Stephen, I fired my graphic up and then it didn't show up. So you know what? You can never be too prepared. Stephen, how you doing? Minnesota looking to finally make the championship here this season.
Damn right we are. Minnesota's looking to make the championship for a few seasons. I'm definitely going to say it wasn't easy losing in the semifinals this year, but losing to the champs is certainly never a bad thing. And we are certainly looking to make a reload because the one thing we definitely want is a championship, and we are hell-bent on getting it.
Yeah, Minnesota's been close a couple of times. Just pulling up your roster here, just here at the start of the show. It's the fullest I've seen any team thus far. I'm counting 20 players across the wire. Nobody new yet to the team, but obviously you've got a lot of guys rejuvenated and coming back because I think this team feels like they're right there on the cusp. Nobody give up right now.
Certainly nobody is giving up right now. We did have a lot of people retained, which is something we definitely pride ourselves on. The only people we, of course, ended up losing was Miss T, the Queen, who we loved having on the team. No shame in her going back to Chicago to play with her husband. That is absolutely good for her, and we wish her all the best. The only other moves we had is we had a couple of people who have decided to hang up the cleats for now. We lost our guard, Dusty Wilson, and, of course, two people that I came into the league with, Caesar Ackerman and Adrian Blaine, have decided that they are going to be taking a break from the league. And, of course, I wish them all the best as well. And as for myself, I decided that I am going to, of course, be staying on the field, but I'm going to be taking a little bit of a step back as well. Because you saw that we had not one but two inside linebackers tonight. And that does actually get me to one of our signings, but I'll get to you in just a second because I do have someone who we are very happy to have join the team. We needed another, I guess you could say, nickel/dimeback, and I am happy to say that we got one big time that is coming across the wire right now.
That is one Slyn Shady moving to strong safety, a former Louisiana Revolution player at just ahead of $1 million. Slyn is a dear friend from SFL history lore, I guess, Stephen, and it's good to see him back in action now with Minnesota. What was the process of getting him involved and signing him at safety, no less?
I will definitely say I had nothing to do with that. This was a team effort from the entire front office. We pulled some strings and had some talks with Mr. Shady. He said he was looking for a little bit of a fresh start. He wanted to shift positions, wanted a new experience. He's looking forward to being in Minnesota, and we are happy to have him. He's going to be a very big locker room presence for us, possibly going to be helping us out behind the scenes, but for now he just wants to get his feet wet in the locker room and see where it goes from there.
Great pickup. What is next on Minnesota's docket?
That is in regards to me and one of our retirees, because we have a package deal coming in. So with me taking a little bit of a backseat to the inside linebacker role, we do have a new outside linebacker as well as a guard coming with them because, let's just say, we're about to forge a new path.
Yeah, Stephon Forge at outside linebacker, a big piece of the Denver Nightwings of old, and that definitely shores up the linebacking core there. $1.58 million. Forge comes over to Minnesota. So these are, these are two huge signings for Minnesota, trying to get this Legend team over the top. And Carly Forge as well at guard. It just came through, $473,000.
Absolutely. We couldn't have one Forge without the other, and I am happy to report that Axel and a couple of members in our front office have been doing a good job coaching. I would say a warning to the rest of, particularly the Central Division, because Stephon Forge is now going to be in our coaching room as well, helping out Axel pushing us towards a championship. So we are armored up and ready to go.
Awesome. Do any other surprises here tonight from Minnesota, Steven?
Unless the front office has kept me completely in the dark on something, no, we are just ready to regroup for a championship. We're going to get the Forges and Slyn in our locker room shortly, get them acclimated to the team, and we're going to start getting prepared to win the season 20. Get ready to go win ourselves the season 24 championship. And if anyone wants to counter that, you're welcome to try and stop us, because we're not going to let you.
That's a solid 23 right now. 29.28 million in cap space. So Minnesota, with all that talent and weaponry, still a lot of cap space to play with as the Legend try to compete for season 24. Is that trying to shave off some of that debt, Steven, or are we expecting some more signings across the wire?
The only signing you should be expecting are our re-signings that we have yet to get. We've got them coming in slowly but surely, but everyone in the locker room is happy to be back for another season. And once we get everybody signed up and on board, we're going to get rocking and rolling.
Do you anticipate the MVP, Johnny Reno's return? Not across the wire yet.
Reno is not going anywhere. There have been several teams that have courted him over the past couple of seasons, but he is going nowhere, especially after winning the MVP. I mean, shoot, if you ask me, we've got 2 MVPs on our season, but on our roster, but that's beside the fact. So he is definitely going to be back, and we're pushing for a championship.
Steven, any other comments that you have regarding signings around the league? Anything that jumped out to you or was surprising?
Probably the biggest surprise was hearing that Canton was sold to Sin City, but I can definitely say I was very happy to see who Canton ended up in the hands of. Talon was actually a good friend of mine before we came into the league. I am very intrigued to see what he is going to do with that Canton roster and that, or should I say now, the Sin City organization. Definitely hopeful for him. Looking forward to seeing what OKC is going to do. Division's definitely got shook up. I don't know. We're going to see some new people are going to rise to the top, or we're going to see more of the same. You never know.
Sounds great, Steven. It's always great getting to talk to you. Congrats on all the success in Minnesota. And maybe 24 is the season for the Legend to get y'all's first title. Best of luck out there.
Sounds good, Cam, but there is no maybe about that. We're coming for the championship.
Sounds good, Steven. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
That was Steven Black, the general manager of the Minnesota Legend. Happy to have him with us. Okay, our next guest coming on is, let me get my bearings here. It's Keith Wheeler of Pittsburgh. Can't wait to talk to him in about 4 minutes. But we've got some more signings that have come across the wire that I want to touch on here. P. Fudor is also going to Queen City from Chicago in connection with Nate Hall's signing. So Queen City gets another. Chuck Diesel leaves Louisiana and is going to Denver, $1.17 million. Man, this Denver Nightwings team is making a lot of waves here tonight. Bobby Tarantino leaves Florida. How often do you see that? Going to Indianapolis, $689,000 contract as Tarantino continues his development. Probably had an opportunity to move up in the depth chart that he did not have in Florida. Michael Knight at wide receiver leaving Albuquerque and going to Charleston. Michael Knight was a big part of that Albuquerque resurgence, although was playing behind Kay Marion and Greg Corky there in Albuquerque, so maybe an opportunity to move up there for Knight. Telemax Scarborough leaves Indianapolis, goes to Chicago. Those two teams continue to trade players of sorts. And then Rob Ems leaving Canton to go to Albuquerque to be their kicker. And boy, did Albuquerque need a kicker. $2.28 million. They struggled with special teams all last season, and Albuquerque is in a much better position now with their special teams unit. That's a big one. DeVore re-signing comes across for Denver at $1.7 million. Doug Britton in Charleston, $2.8 million re-signing. James Matthew Jr., a $3 million re-signing for Queen City. Derek Majors, a $2.7 million re-signing for Chicago. $3.3 million re-signing for Daniel Valentine. Jack Napier, $2.6 million re-signing for Albuquerque. So those are some of the big ones. Josh Slapp also came across $3.31 million re-signing there in Houston. A few of the biggest re-signings to come across. Hey, how many players are signed up and ready to go for the SFL Season 24? We are up to 217 signings at the moment as teams vigorously quickly prepare for a season that will start earlier than any winter season in SFL history. Friday, January 3rd is the start of Season 24 as we hit the calendar fast and furious. The schedule began development tonight once the final division alignment was able to be had, with Sin City coming in and joining us. So that is a look at the current slate of signings. We'll get Keith Wheeler on the line, and we'll be back here in a moment. This is the Free Agency Show right here on the Virtual Football Network. All right, we are back here on Free Agency Frenzy, and on the phone we've got Keith Wheeler, the general manager for the Pittsburgh Riverhogs, who hope to have a resurgence this season. And Keith, happy to have you here, and I know that this is a long time coming for you in this position.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Cam. Thanks for having us on today. Looking forward to a better second season for the Riverhogs.
Yeah, and it starts at the quarterback position with Ace Fennick, a signing from Bossier City, $2.86 million. I had talked with Ace in DMs earlier in the season, in the offseason, just helping him through his process of what he wanted to do with the rest of his career. I didn't know he was going to Pittsburgh, though. So how were you able to land such a quality quarterback in free agency?
Well, Ace was kind of a surprise to us. I mean, we didn't know he was available until later because, obviously first part of the free agents came out. We had the three, and like, okay, we're looking through people, we're talking with people, and we talked as a staff, Corey, Gino, and I, kind of what we were looking for in quarterback. And literally, as we're the next day, we're talking, like, hey, one of the other signings, Mike Twinscrew, said, hey, Ace is looking to leave. And I'm like, I'm literally at work on Discord calling him as soon as I found out. We see him as like being exactly what we're looking for. We had some great quarterbacks last year. Mike did a great job for us, being a first year franchise, but we think we're just making that next step up now, going with Ace.
Yeah, so you get Twinscrew with him as well at $2.9 million, and he's been a veteran of this league for a while. He's come to conventions. He's all over the place, all over the map. He was in Louisiana but now I'm sure hoping to settle into Pittsburgh and help to build them a winner. And Ziggy Roenick as well, a former teammate of Ace's.
Yeah, we were part of what we were looking for was people coming in that, for lack of a better term, have a family connection. People that want to stay around for a while, that aren't afraid of a little bit of a work. They understand what it means to be part of the system. And getting Ace gave us Ziggy as well. And it's like, okay. And I had already reached out to Ziggy. No, hadn't heard anything from him. No, nothing. Something else. And Ace is like, I'll talk to him, and we've got him. So I got 4 receivers this year. They're all, between Devon and Ben and Ziggy and Mike, we're going to have a lot more options available. And with Ace pulling the trigger, that's going to be even better. And once some people kind of wake up, or get off work or wake up to get ready to go to work, we'll have a few more weapons coming and some help on the other side as well. But Mike was kind of instrumental getting us to Ace. Ace got a Ziggy, and we got a few other people coming in that will shore up some inadequacies we had last year.
Yeah, so you're up to $19.1 million. You've got plenty of cap space left, obviously. You've got 11 players. One of the big things for Pittsburgh is trying to get to that, trying to hit that roster mark to maybe access some more funds and even pour fuel on the fire a little bit more in Pittsburgh. How has that process been for you as a general manager? Really trying to help Pittsburgh reach the next level. Obviously, they're 2-10 last season, not where they wanted to be. They were competitive in a lot of games, but the team needs more out of its personnel. So how's that challenge been?
It was interesting. I come in from several different other sims and 25 years of coaching high school football, so I kind of have an idea of how they build things. And we literally talked as a front office. Okay, what's Pittsburgh football going to look like? And like I talked on Eddie's show on The Streets Are Talking, we have a vision of what we're going to do, and we know exactly how we're going to build it between our pillars and our schemes and our philosophies that we've got. And we're very picky. We talked to several people that were great people, great numbers on the page, but we just didn't feel like they fit our vision. So we spent a lot of time doing this, and I was very aggressive. I was literally reaching out to people as a free agency started. And some of them I already kind of knew, and I paid attention to things in the Discord, so I kind of had an idea of people like, oh, this sounds like he may not be 100% on board. And like I told Eddie, I tell people, go ahead and do this, and you can ask any of the free agents once you start seeing them sign. I always told them, hey, go talk to everybody you want. You talk to me last, and the people that talk to me last are the ones that are here with me.
Yeah, so educate people out there. Is this your first general manager opportunity? How did you even end up in Pittsburgh?
Well, in SFL, this is my first GM opportunity. Like I said, I've been doing other sims for close to 20 years, doing other things. So I have a kind of idea. I knew the plan. I knew the model that we were working off of into this. And I came in at the last 3 weeks of season 7 of the SFLM, under Lexington, and was with Marco Swift and those guys, came in, did the playoff. I think I had like 1 catch in 2 weeks. And then the next year I found myself on Pittsburgh, and Corey and I just kind of clicked right away. It's like, okay, I like how he does things and doing these things, and just kind of worked our way up. And then when we found out we were getting moved up, he's like, hey, I'm going to make you and Eric the assistant GMs. And I just kind of watched and listened. And it's like, as the season went on, it's like, here's what we need to do. I started just kind of like, my personality popped in, like, here's how we fix things. So between having been a coach and an athletic director and a teacher and different things, running businesses, like that personality just kind of came out. I was like, here's the structure, here's what we need to do, and here's how we're going to set ourselves apart. And especially with the changes coming up next year with SFLM, it's very important to have that structure and that vision, because it's going to make it easier for us to sell and get not only free agents, but hopefully people coming in from the SFLM as well.
Yeah, well, it's a great start for Pittsburgh. It's kind of special for you. Lexington comes into the north, and so it's kind of where you started and where you're currently, So, that's a look kind of at Pittsburgh. Anything I miss with the Riverhogs that's across right now that you want to comment on?
Right now, we're pretty set. We're, like I said, we're just waiting on some people to to either get off work or wake up for work to sign. We got a lot of people in there. I know we had a couple guys that are having issues with the portal that they're getting fixed. They're coming back. I mean, Mike Churchill's coming back. BB Bullets is coming back. So we have Thunder and Lightning coming back, which is going to be helpful. Made some adjustments. A couple of people we have coming on in free agency have a background with builds and schemes. So that's going to help us even more. So I'm just excited. I mean, I know we were competitive last year. That's not good enough for me anymore. We need to take that next step. And like I said on Eddie's show, eventually we're going to be playing with those franchises that are in the playoffs year in and year out and winning it. We're going to be playing with them.
Certainly, and well said. To the league, I guess now, Keith, is there anything that has come across tonight that was a surprise to you, or maybe somebody you recruited that you didn't manage to grab?
I think we were pretty accurate on most of the people we were looking for. I mean, I'm glad to see Mike's going someplace where he's going to be starting. Queen City. I like that. The thing that kind of probably surprised me the most was Stefan and Carly leaving Denver. I mean, that was the first team I was drafted to. And Stefan was very instrumental in me learning how to build a player. And to see them leave is kind of a little bit of a shock. And then obviously, the Sin City thing, nobody had that on their bingo card.
No.
Not at all.
Not for a while did I even have that on my bingo card. So, yeah.
And then the fact that Talon took it over too, definitely nobody had that one on their bingo card.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Talon's doing a great job behind the scenes to try and get them ready to go. And obviously the league believes in their staff, Mike All and everybody over there that's trying to keep this thing going. And I think they'll be just fine. But yeah, it's been a wild few weeks behind the scenes. The championship game was just a few weeks ago, right? And already so much change.
Yeah, and that's part of what I like about the free agent frenzy, is you get to see people like move around and kind of figure, okay, why do they move? What's the fit? I mean, with Indy, with Lakeman going over there, I mean, Charleston guys are close with Pittsburgh, so it's like, oh, that's kind of cool watching them go over there. At the same time, it's like, oh, the one guy you took, Haddock, which is who I was originally talking to, I can understand he has a chance to do something really cool. I wish him the best until we play. Then after we play, we'll be fine.
Well, Keith, I appreciate you being on, and great luck or good luck in Pittsburgh, and great job, my friend, trying to help that organization take the next step.
Yeah, we're just looking forward to season 24 and getting a better showing, and then in the near future, we're going to be playing with the Minnesotas, the former Canton, now Sin Cities, the Mexico Cities, and those guys, and seeing how we do.
Sounds great, man. Thank you so much for joining us, Keith. Appreciate you as a first-timer on the show.
Appreciate it, Cam. Thanks for everything.
All righty. Talk to you soon. All right, that was Keith Wheeler, the general manager in Pittsburgh. Great to talk with him, and always great to talk with some new faces. An old face to the league, but still relatively new to his GM responsibilities. Fox Highwind in Atlanta will join us in a few minutes, but let's get back to that waiver wire. Let's see. Last we saw, it was Rob Ems. Tank Bennett leaves Louisiana and is going to Denver. $1.7 million. The Denver Nightwings have really crushed it tonight. They are killing it in free agency and really building a really great team. Chris Grant Jr. leaves Louisiana, going to Indianapolis. $4.29 million. So Indianapolis's backfield, I think I saw somebody say it was Israel in the chat. Ramblers, $9.3 million on running backs here tonight. Tiberius Bovine is the first signing across the wire for the Oklahoma City Renegades, $1.7 million. So Oklahoma City is on the board as their signings start to roll in. Jeff Banfield from Nashville going to Bossier City, a big pickup for the Steamers, who have lost a few here tonight, $2.3 million. So Banfield, a big part of Bossier City's future plans. And then DJ Kilgannon is leaving Canton and going to Chicago, $1.74 million. So Chicago has lost some, but they've also gained some big names here tonight as well. Fox Highwind of the Atlanta Swarm joins us in a couple of minutes as free agency frenzy rolls on here tonight. We'll be right back on the Virtual Football Network. We are back with the general manager of the Atlanta Swarm, Fox Highwind, here to talk Swarm football here tonight. How you doing, Fox?
Doing pretty good, Cam. How have you been?
I'm doing well, and it's been a busy night tonight. We've got 9 signings so far for Atlanta across the wire, the biggest being Aquana Shine at $2.5 million. But, you know, Atlanta, Fox, I feel like continues... It's a little under the radar, back-to-back playoff appearances. You're looking to kind of get over that first-round hump, but, you know, the 2 seasons ago, it was, you know, they're just not as committed anymore. And then last season, it was, Albuquerque's going to steal all their guys, and Atlanta's been just fine, right?
That's right. I know, you know, Atlanta's kind of had up and down seasons, especially recently. Last year, Albuquerque coming in, it really dealt us a blow. I'm happy for Swole and everybody over there. I'm glad they had success last season getting to the playoffs. But a lot of people said, and I know that I keep harping on this any chance that I get, a lot of people said that we were down and out, that we weren't going to do anything, might be 2-10. And we took that personally. And I personally took it personally. And I vowed that we were going to get back not only to the playoffs, not only have a bye, but we are going to very soon be in contention for the championship.
And that starts with free agency tonight. So, Fox, what you got for us first?
Let's see. Let me go ahead and publish all of these and ready to rock.
All right, let's begin with Hattori Hanzo leaving Carolina and going to Atlanta. Kind of a stunner. Skyhawk seeming native there for Hattori, but Atlanta gets him. How did that happen, Fox?
Well, you know, that's Hattori and Mark have been friends for a long time. You know, that's Shan. They've always wanted to play together. I don't know why I hadn't thought of it sooner, but epiphany came to me not that long ago, and I asked Mark, what are the chances that we get him over here, and he made it happen. I've talked to him a few times. Really great guy. Gonna try to get him into the coaching with Siege and see if that's going to play out at all. It might not, but either way, we had Mitchell O'Brien retire, Vittori coming in and being a good fill-in for him is much needed in our running game and possibly in coaching as well.
Next is Ryan Roosevelt of Indianapolis. Just a monster signing. He has been the identity of the Ramblers offense, and now he's in Atlanta at $1.83 million. Of all the places Ryan could have gone, he chooses Atlanta. How'd that happen, Fox?
Well, Ryan came into the league with Atlanta. I believe he was drafted, I'm not exactly sure when. It was season 16, 17. He started in Atlanta, and we wanted to bring him home. He's a great guy. I've talked to him a bit too. We've had some conversations back and forth. I just moved and talked about him moving once before, and he wanted to come back to Atlanta. We wanted him to come back to Atlanta, and so we made it happen. I mean, last season he was big. I mean, he's the number one receiver in Indy. He's one of the top 10 receivers in the league, and just an overall great guy. And we need that kind of leadership in the locker room.
So Roosevelt and Hanzo are followed by the journeyman, Anthony Wyo, leaving Indianapolis, now with Atlanta. I really want Anthony to play for every team in the league before he retires. I mean, I think that'd be the most fun thing, as Wyo is yours for $2.91 million. So is it a case of Wyo just crossing Atlanta off his list, or what were you able to sell him on?
No. It's funny because I had the same thought about it would be hilarious if he played for every team, but we want him to stay here. We want him to be a lifer in Atlanta with all the other lifers here. I had hit him up about when he announced free agency, and we talked in depth about roster build and what position, what kind of identity he'd have with the team, and also more kind of technical cap stuff and build stuff. But he did want to think about it for a bit, but he came back and said he was definitely on board with Atlanta, and we couldn't be more excited to have him with us.
Chevy Monte Carlo in the chat, one of the new rookies in the SFLM. Roosevelt, Fox, and Boo. Atlanta got some dogs at wide receiver. And finally, Zach
Siege.
Lay at corner, leaving Vancouver, going to Atlanta, $1.2 million. How'd you land Zach?
Well, Zach, I kind of took a leap of faith on. I remembered playing with him at some point. I had thought it was either in the SFLM season 1 or with London, our rookie seasons, but no, he was actually non-contract with me in Atlanta in season 14 when we won the championship. I hit him up, and he was retired. He had retired from Vancouver, and I hit him up every day to get him back in the league, to get him back and excited to play where he started, which was with us. And he finally committed, and he is a much needed part of the defensive back unit that we've got. We only had 2 cornerbacks last season. As far as stamina goes and being able to stay on the field and produce, we kind of lacked a little bit in that aspect. Now we've got a rotating system that we'll be able to throw 3 out there at different times and definitely make some bigger plays.
Now, Alex Dominguez is back too, and
Yes.
he signed in the middle of the season, Fox, so we never really got a chance to talk about it on any particular show. But how did Alex leave Florida to go to Atlanta? I think people are dying to hear that story.
Okay, so I'd put something out in player openings, about needing players. We were rushing up against the deadline to end, to roster lock, and we were one player short. And I was trying to get somebody desperately, and I think it was a couple of days after the roster locked, we weren't able to get another player. And I happened to see in my DMs a message request. Now, I'd never seen one of those before, but apparently Discord changed something. And if you had not talked to that person in DMs before, now you had a message request. Siege had a message request from him as well. And we had neither one seen it. So he was available. And I asked what happened with Florida. He just said they just wanted to go a different direction. I said, okay. Would you like to sign with us? And he's like, absolutely. So we snatched him up, and I couldn't be happier to have him on the team as well. I mean, obviously, who wouldn't want to have Big Sexy on the team, right?
Absolutely. The Elder God 117 in the chat. Longtime fan here. I love this commentary. It's great to see our fans, our subscribers. I'm assuming you're a subscriber, Elder God, but it's great to see people that are not in the league here enjoying the league. It's one of the best parts of the SFL. You got people out there, Fox, that may be Swarm fans that you might not even know, right? That watch Atlanta Swarm games all the time. So it's a lot of fun. So Atlanta, where they sit right now, the Swarm about 13 players across the wire, and sitting at about $24.29 million, and I'm sure you've got more coming, Fox. Of course, Bryant Dynasty is going to be back. But any last thoughts on Atlanta before we shift gears a little bit to the league?
Well, I really wanted last season for us. Our goal was to outperform what was expected of us, and we did. I don't think anybody could argue that. And this season, I don't really know what our expectations are, and I really don't care. All I know is we're coming out, we're going to punch some people in the mouth, and we're going to make it back. Now, not just back to the playoffs, but we're going to keep going up and up and up. There's not going to be this up and down in Atlanta anymore. All we're going to do is keep rising until we hit the championship, because that's what we want to do. That's our goal.
Any thoughts on what's happened around the league tonight? Any signings that stood out to you that were a shocker?
Well, to echo Keith, Stephon Forge, I did not see that. See him signing with Minnesota. That's a really good pickup by them. Denver has come on really good. Queen City hasn't been doing bad either. I'm really happy to see that, hoping that the change in ownership there has really lit a fire under them, and they've been able to get a lot of momentum out of this. Obviously, Sin City, that was huge. I wish that had kind of been announced earlier, but maybe it was just a last minute thing. I don't know. But it was definitely a shocker to come, within an hour of free agent signings.
Yeah, it was announced when it was ready to be announced, right? And
right.
It added some more fireworks to the day for sure. But
oh yeah,
it's good to see the league, 25 teams strong, and while some teams have reshuffled, it's the most important thing, Fox, as is to have enthusiasm at the top of every team, and if you got that, you got a lot.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And Mike Daggs is happy his Vegas drone footage gets to be used again. So there you go. It's
a win-win for everybody.
Another added bonus and more advertising for Daggs Drone Works. So, Fox, anything else before we let you go tonight?
That's pretty much it, Cam. I just wanted to showcase our free agents. They deserve it. Happy to have them in the locker room. Happy to have them part of the Swarm team. And I can't wait to take the field with my brothers come this January.
Fox, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good luck in Atlanta this season.
Thank you, Cam.
All right, that was Fox Highwind of the Atlanta Swarm joining us here on the free agency frenzy. Okay, a couple more free agents came across the wire while we were on the phone. Chad Rowland is going to Carolina. He gives up ownership of his team. Robert Cherry now leads the Ramblers into battle. And Chad Rowland is signing on the offensive line with Carolina, $1.9 million. Gus Scott is back, along with his mom, Baloo Scott, $1.17 million in Chicago. So the Warriors get the Scott duo back. And there he is. There's the MVP. Johnny Reno is back in Minnesota, $1.95 million. Fresh off of his 20-touchdown campaign, Reno is back in Minnesota. Let's go back here just briefly to Chicago. Look at all of these names. 8 free agents for Chicago to join 9 returning players for Chicago. So the Warriors very much have remade their roster. Some old faces coming back into the fold, and then some new faces as well. So Chicago is an interesting one there. How about Christian Bacigalupi? He's going to Oklahoma City, $2.58 million contract. So Bacigalupi leaves Carolina, the second to do so, although Carolina's had plenty of signings come across, including Chad Rowland, the free agent there. But a big pickup there for Oklahoma City as they build their roster. Mike St. Green did re-sign in Houston earlier, $2.2 million. And then, there's Bovine at tight end, $1.74 million for Oklahoma City. That was their first signing. Tyler Highfield is back in D.C. Kay Marion, Jason Williams back in Albuquerque. A couple big names for that Adams offense. We are at 241 players signed for season 24. And coming up next on the Free Agency Frenzy show is Carolina's Harish Prasad to talk about their squad. That comes your way shortly here on the Free Agency Frenzy show for SFL season 24 on the Virtual Football Network. We'll be right back. We are back on Free Agency Frenzy, and on the phone now we have the one of the owners of the Carolina Skyhawks, Harish Prasad. How you doing, Harish?
Doing pretty good, Cam. How about you?
I'm doing well. It's always the fastest show of the season because we have so many guests and so many things to talk about. Before you know it, 3 hours are gone, and we've talked about a lot of stuff. A lot of signings come across the wire tonight, Harish, so I'm sure you're pretty pumped. I was surprised, personally, that Hattori Hanzo went to Atlanta, so hopefully that wasn't a surprise to you. You've had some surprises in the backfield in past seasons.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that had kind of come up at the bit of the last minute. He was talking about he wanted to play a season with Mark, at least for just for a little bit. So I mean, I could totally understand that. I know him and Mark are real close, so there's no hard feelings there. Obviously, Shannon and I talked about it for a while, and he was pretty torn about it. So, best of luck to him in Atlanta.
Well, let's get to those Carolina Skyhawk contracts, and I'm seeing one that's quite peculiar.
Oh, which one's that?
Chad Rowland?
Oh yeah, that one's already across, huh?
Yeah, and
yeah.
I'm getting some sort of interference, Harish. Is your signal okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
But can you hear me is the question.
Chad, what are you doing here?
I was just hanging out with Harish and heard you guys were talking, so I thought I'd just come check it out.
Well,
If Chad just accidentally slipped and signed a contract over here.
Yeah, that's what I like to do, slip in.
he
Hey, yo.
certainly did, and I didn't really make a graphic long enough to accommodate your name, so I had to do some on the fly thinking since you decided to hack the call, Chad. Chad, I thought you were done with this. I thought you were done with all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was at one point, but this was just too good of an opportunity to pass up. Had to do what I had to do to get here in Carolina.
Harish, how did it all come about?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the second I heard of the sale going down, I reached out to him pretty quickly, and Chad and I are pretty good friends, and everyone knows how the locker room is, and to me, it was just too perfect of a fit, no pause, to just bring him in here, and he's gonna be a really good fit in the locker room. He's gonna be a good fit on the offensive line, on the field, at left tackle. So I'm really excited to have him here.
Chad's always been a great fit with me, right, Chad? All right, so we've got more signings. I'm anticipating with Carolina, but it should be worth noting that Carolina has already had 16 re-signings come across the wire. And I wanted to get your thoughts, Harish, because we haven't gotten to talk on the network since it all went down. But Riley Quintero, who wins Surprise Player of the Year for season 23, re-signs for $3.1 million. I don't think in your wildest dreams that would have worked out as well as it did last season.
I mean, there was definitely a vision that me, Mojo, and Skip had for it when we moved him there, right? But the timeline just jumped up way further than we expected it to. And, a lot of that is to what his build was, the way we built him as a wide receiver, that it was just kind of a natural fit moving him to running back. And a lot of credit does have to go to Mojo for the coaching job he did there, too, with getting that run game going and finally getting my dumb player to actually do things once in a while. So, he deserves a lot of that credit.
How many times are you going to get hurt this season, Harish?
I was waiting for that one.
Let me check that durability. 86. It could be better. It could be better. You're leaving it to chance.
You know what? At this point, I just expect it. So if it happens, it happens. At least Quintero's still there.
All right, we're done with you. Let's get to your general manager, Skippy Curtis, and the rest of the job the team has done to get some free agents. Who do we got coming across?
All right. The first one's published.
Tony Zoma at fullback, and that is one of the that's James Klein, one of the old owners of Carolina, back in his own house.
Yeah, man. I mean, this was kind of a no-brainer. James is one of the guys I've spent the most time with in the SFL, and he's taught me a lot about being an owner in this league and a lot about being a coach and just managing personnel and all that stuff. So, he's a good fit in the locker room. Again, a lot of these things, the theme is just going to be the locker room, right? And with Shan being gone, I think it was kind of a no-brainer to bring Tony Zoma in to get some time on the field with us. So I'm very happy to have him back.
All right, who's next?
All right, let's see. All right, next one's up.
Adam Banks from formerly of Louisiana, $1.64 million. Banks, I remember distinctly, Harish, dominated Canton of all teams. He had his best game of his career against Canton last season, so I'm sure you're hoping for some duplicate performance there. But what'd you see out of Adam, and how were you guys able to bring him in?
Man, this guy is one I'm really excited about. I mean, both on and off the field, right? His build is just gonna be awesome to have out on the field. A 6'4" wide receiver with 95 speed. So I'm super excited that we get to put him in that wide receiver group with Chase Earl and Chris Curtis. So I think there's just a lot of potential with this offense, and a lot of what we've been going into this offseason with is we wanted to improve the passing game. And there's going to be one other signing that alludes to how serious we are about passing the ball this season. But I think this is one that's really going to strike the point home. And as far as off the field, bringing Adam in allows me to restructure our staff a little bit, with Mojo McClain's transitioning over to the head coach role. And this will allow me to bring Adam in to be the assistant GM for Skip, and he's been he's I can tell he's going to be an asset.
Okay, you know what? You're going to get flamed when you don't pay attention. My dad is calling me while I'm on the air doing this show. Like, I can't make it up, man. I'm not. Sorry. Guess you're just gonna have to wait. It's unbelievable. What's he doing? Anyway.
I thought that was about me for a second. I was like, what did I say?
No, that's one way to get yourself on the show, I guess. Anyway, all right, what's next with you, Harish?
All right, this is my last one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is the big one. All right, go ahead.
Marcus Dunhill is your new quarterback, $2.54 million. How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of talk was he was going to retire, right? But, Marcus and I for years and years have been good friends, and we have talked so long about being able to play together. And when he told me he was retiring, I had to shoot my shot with it. And there was no way I was going to let him retire without playing for us. And this is really how serious we are about upgrading this offense next season. It's nothing like bringing in a former MVP to do it, right?
Yeah, the theme of this of this group, I would say, with Zoma and Chad and Marcus is, I think that Carolina has built themselves up over time and has obviously improved and continue to improve on the field. That a lot of veterans to this league who may not have been having as much fun in other places is going to Carolina to have fun. Is that the pitch? Because that's what it feels like.
Yeah, I mean that was my pitch to Chad, right? Chad is getting out of ownership, and he's been killing himself over coaching and all these other things, being a GM. Sometimes all people want is just to come have fun, right? And for the longest time, it's build the locker room up and the winning will start happening on the field. Well, we're winning on the field now, so now it's time to win and have fun. And the locker room is what it is, but just with these four individuals coming in, I'm super excited for what the locker room atmosphere is going to be like, and I'm pretty confident we're going to be back in the playoffs.
Chad, any thoughts on how the team's looking right now?
I mean, and he just nailed it on the head, right? I mean, from the time that Harish found out about me selling Indy, I mean, he's been in my DMs, sliding in them all day. And,
forced that one.
Yeah,
awesome.
And I did. And so with this, though, one of the main reasons I'm really excited about it is the opportunity to play with Marcus Dunhill, to be that backside protection for him, because, obviously, like, Harish even got me into the chat with him and talking about how we wanted to come to Carolina, and Carolina's got such a great locker room vibe, and you're seeing it on the field when it comes to winning and stuff, and it was easily something I wanted to be a part of.
Harish, around the league, what has caught your attention tonight? Who's impressing? What are you surprised about?
I'm impressed with Minnesota. Getting Forge out of Denver was definitely a big deal. I mean, I know he was there for a long time, and getting him was pretty awesome. And getting Slid Shady was that defense just got way better.
Chad, do you have anybody stick out?
There's a few interesting, signings that I saw. I mean, obviously with some of the stuff that my former team Indianapolis is doing, bringing in Chris Grant Jr. and Andrew Gibson, which Andrew Gibson's actually from Indiana. So seeing him kind of come back home and play for his home team is really cool. Slin Shady coming out of retirement. Chicago looking like Indy 2.0 thanks to Mike O'Neill. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of more interesting signings than I thought there'd be, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens here in the future part of the show tonight.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and congrats to all of your continued success. You were right there with Mexico City, and then they ended up going on and winning the championship. So, you're just that close, and maybe this season will be Carolina's.
I'm hoping so, Cam. We were right there. So,
all right, y'all. Well, have a great one. I appreciate you joining us.
You too. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, man.
All right, that was Harish Prasad and Chad Rowland of the Carolina Skyhawks. Just reading some DMs. Let's get to some contracts. See if anything else came across, and it certainly did. Lyric Da Vinci is out in DC and going to Chicago. A little over $1 million. Another nice pickup for the Warriors. Let's take a look at where the Warriors are real quick, because that wide receiving room is filling up. That's 4. Lyric Da Vinci, Gus Scott, T. DeQueen, John Fullerton, Ty Patak is back at quarterback. He has taken quite the pay cut, $2.5 million, which means that he's going to have quite a bit in his bank this season to build that up as well. So big moves there by Ty Patak and the rest of that offense. Also have 4 corners to help the speed in their secondary. So that's what Chicago's looking like there. Bryant James is back in Albuquerque. Vancouver's got Michael Rury back, Garrison Blue back in Bossier, Al Ingram III is back in Houston. That Bryant James contract at $2.3 million. That's actually the second version to come across tonight. Jason Williams, by the way, $2.8 million back in Albuquerque. All right, coming up on the show, we've got Brett Solberg in a couple of minutes to talk about things around the league, maybe a little bit of Vancouver as well. Let's take a look at where Vancouver sits at the moment, and that's what it looks like. No free agents just yet, but they've got 15 back in Vancouver. Brett Solberg comes up as the free agency frenzy show for SFL Season 24 continues on the Virtual Football Network after this. We're back on Free Agency Frenzy with Brett Solberg from the Vancouver Legion, part owner in Vancouver. How you doing, Brett?
Well, first off, before I say how I'm doing, I want to apologize on behalf of everyone for you having to deal with Harish and Chad for the last 15 minutes. That's just an absolute nightmare, and I commend you for that, because that's got to be tough for you.
You've been sitting on that for like 6 hours.
At least.
The coveted time spot after Harish and Chad.
Yeah, I gotta one up them, and I gotta one up Carolina for sure.
There's a look at the re-signings for Vancouver so far. Mateo Pravado's over 2. Christian Brown is back. Sudo Nakai is back at fullback. Is that 2 fullbacks I see? What's going on over there?
Yeah, we're giving we're gonna give our running back core a little bit more freedom. Pravado did so much good work this past season, but we didn't give him enough love. So Sudo's going to take just a little bit of a different role. It's a little bit more I guess better for his build as well. If you take a look at it, he's got he's going to probably build his strength throughout the entire season. But it's going to help out in a lot of different things because we're looking to experiment this season, especially when it comes to the playbooks. So Sudo is going to make the move to fullback, and then once we get our other one in here, I will say that Ike McBride has re-signed as well. So that has been officially published in there. So our running back core is complete on that side.
Yeah, so Ike McBride is back, $2.44 million for Vancouver, and you got a couple free agents as well.
I do, and here I will just throw them in there right away for you. You can refresh one more time.
So let's start with Jack Russell from Indianapolis, a big pickup for the secondary, a little over $2 million, but he might be, outside of Mark Lopez, the biggest, I guess, big name in the Vancouver secondary in quite some time.
That was one of the signings that we had earmarked like right away. Once we saw that Jack declared his free agency, it was a collaborative effort between myself, Charles, and Andy to basically swoop him up. And Jack's big thing was that he didn't want to play for another rebuilding team. He told us that 7 out of the 10 seasons that he's been with in the league, that he's been on a rebuilding squad. And, you know, here in Vancouver, we're always trying to be a win-now mode. This past season was a little bit of a disappointment for us on certain things. But at the end of the day, it's just one of those unfortunate seasons. And what we saw in our lack of turnovers, we needed to treat that turnover department a little bit better, as the good teams did. And the first guy you think of when you think of that Indianapolis secondary this past season was Jack. So we pushed hard to grab him. He's a fun dude, looking good on a roster that he wants to win, getting back to winning ways, and he fits our locker room to a T. Our locker room has been such low drama, and I'm so thankful that we have such stability after a 5-7 season as well. So getting Jack is a huge addition to that secondary, and hopefully now Drew Hamilton can finally, you know, take a rest and not have to, you know, carry us in certain moments.
Jack was big with the London Knights back in his heyday of SFL lore, and it looks like you landed another broadcaster and the top tight end target out there in free agency, John Michael Sudduth, heading to Vancouver at a little over $1 million. How did you end up getting John? Because I know it was a tough decision for him, perhaps.
Yeah, and it definitely was, and he definitely brought it down to the wire, and I don't blame him for that, because there's a lot of different, you know, teams to choose from, a lot of different suitors that could, that could use his talents. We looked at it from a multitude of ways. First off, his player build is really, really nice. I kind of see it as kind of like a utility kind of guy. I don't see him as just being, you know, a tight end 1, tight end 2 situation with him and whoever else comes in to fill in that tight end position. We also see him, if we need to, we could throw him in as a slot wide receiver as well. He's got the size. That's the big thing. When you look at, you know, with certain playbooks, and now I can talk about this since I have my own Retroid and I'm building my own playbooks, is that, you know, sometimes size does matter when it comes to a lot of these short routes. So we're hoping to use JMS in a multitude of ways, but we also want to use Ethan Muslin as not only as a locker room mesher, because he's definitely a guy that if you can spend 5 minutes with him, it's almost like the best 5 minutes of your life, because he's one of the best guys to talk with in this league. It also kind of helped that Vancouver is, you know, the ground where broadcasters kind of play. You think of any broadcaster that played in Vancouver at any certain moment. But we also want to use his front office experience with Louisiana as well, because he's got a ton of experience that way too. So he's going to be joining our front office and helping us with playbook structuring as well. So I'm excited to have John Michael in, and he's going to be a great addition to this Vancouver squad.
Since you brought it up, we won't have a ton of time on this network to talk about it, so we might as well talk about it now. What do you think of these new playbook options to help diversify offenses?
Well, I'll tell you this much. I think passing is going to go up this coming season. Just working with a couple playbooks that I've already rocked, and Mark has worked on a couple as well. There's already been one simulation where Christian Brown threw over 500 yards in a game, and I look good with 230 of my own receiving yards. So maybe this is finally the season where we get to see BK2K in the yards department, but we'll see what happens.
Interceptions going up too? I hope not.
If any team would love to, pad their stats, especially when it comes to, in my personal opinion, my vote for this past season's Defensive Player of the Year, Mike Ryan. I bet he wanted to have more than just the 7 he had.
Absolutely. So, 257 signings around the league. BB Blitz has just re-signed in Pittsburgh, along with some others that have come across. What's the shocker for you?
The shocker for me, initially, is going to be Marcus Tannehill from Carolina, but then the more I think about it, it's that's a pretty good fit. The big shock for me was Ace Fennick leaving Pittsburgh, or not leaving Pittsburgh, joining Pittsburgh and leaving Bossier City. I thought Fennick would stay at least for a little while longer, but Pittsburgh, fantastic organization. I've spread my love to Corey Menard since the Pittsburgh was just an inception in the minor league. So it's great to see the progression just from for this offseason. Getting Ace Fennick, getting Mike Twinscrew, getting Ziggy Hronik, that pass game is going to look much more deadly, despite the loss of the Offensive Player of the Year, Connor Weston. So I think they're, making massive moves to really build a competitive team come season 24.
Frank Doom in the chat. How is passing going up when the AI keeps calling run, 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 and no gun? Well, you can delete formations now, Frank. Keep an eye or head over to the 4K23 section of our site to see how playbooks are getting a boost this season in the SFL. So that's a look around the league, a little bit with Brett, and a look at Vancouver as well. Vancouver sitting at about $27.8 million. I know that you've got the cap guru, Mark Lopez, over there, has been crunching all the numbers and getting the team ready. Is there anything else about this squad that you wanted to touch on before we let you go?
The big thing for me is that I'm very happy with the team being a stable one this coming season. We only had really 2 people tell us for sure that they were going to leave this season. We saw the Zach Lay signing with Atlanta, and that one Zach let Andy know as well in advance so that we weren't surprised and we weren't blindsided by that at all. And then Mike Coverson announced his retirement to us as well. So we wish him a happy retirement and best for his future endeavors. But as far as we know, the rest of the squad is, really gearing up for season 24 and ready to go and build back what is known as a dominant Vancouver team and show the league that this 5-7 season was just a minor blip on our radar.
Brett, thanks for being here tonight, man, and congrats on building back Vancouver. And I think I was just as shocked as anyone that the team ended up 5-7, but all those close losses. You know what they say about close losses? It all evens out in the end, and that must mean you're due for some close wins coming up. So best of luck this season.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to this coming season.
All righty, that was Brett Solberg of the Vancouver Legion. And it's always good to check with him on the program. Coming up next is Eddie Gage of the Arizona Scorpions. He's going to talk Arizona Scorpion football here tonight, and I'm guessing we'll be talking about some free agents coming in. Only 4 signings across the wire so far, all in the backfield. But I have a feeling that Arizona is going to be quite busy in the next 15 minutes as the free agency frenzy for SFL Season 24 rolls on the Virtual Football Network. One more look at the contracts before we head out. As you can see, Arizona is starting to make an impact here. Hubba Kimbrell is back in Atlanta by way of Baltimore at just shy of $1 million. So Hubba Kimbrell, again, Atlanta did not have a backup to BDG Hollywood last season, so they get Hubba back in the fold. Big important signing there. Chance Wall from Louisiana is headed to Mexico City. So Mexico City gets a couple of defensive linemen from other teams, Saron Yates IV and Chance Wall, to add to that championship lineup. Arizona's getting their contracts ready and getting their free agents ready. Eddie Gage comes your way on the show coming up. This is the free agency frenzy of SFL Season 24 on the Virtual Football Network. We are back here on the Free Agency Frenzy Show. And right now I've got with me Eddie Gage, the owner of the Arizona Scorpions, one of the owners of the Arizona Scorpions, ready to talk some Arizona Scorpion football. A ton of signings came across as we were in break. As the Scorpions look to reload, my count is 19. But Eddie, welcome back to the show, and welcome back to reloading, going for that championship.
Cam, come on now. This is Arizona. We don't reload. We just, keep doing what we doing, man. No such thing as reloading around here. We just retool and keep it moving.
Oh, so you retool instead of reload. What's the difference?
I don't know. We just keep it moving, man.
Hey, it sounds like you've been working hard too, man. How's the off season been treating you, and how excited are you for season 24?
Oh, Cam, I think that I was telling somebody this story the other day. I think you like torturing us coaches and front office staff, because I was preparing myself for a relaxed off season. Then all of a sudden the playbook changes came in. I should say options came in, along with the salary cap being a measly $42 million. So I've been busy, but I'm okay.
I think people want you to speak up, Eddie. I've turned you up as loud as I can get you, but maybe you need to give them a Arizona, I love y'all or something.
let me see. Hold on. I had a problem on my show last week.
Oh, too. I bet you did.
I got to get some audio people involved because this shit is getting ridiculous, man. But I'll try.
You got to get yourself a Chris Curtis. They're good. They're good for that
There
stuff.
you go. I got to give him a call.
Can you go a little louder?
Arizona, I love y'all, man. How that sound, Ken?
Yeah, that sounded good.
I'll speak up the rest of the show.
All right. So, yeah, you got to get that announcer voice back in. You know, you can't be chilling. All right. Let's get to some free agents. I'm guessing you got some.
I got a few, man, but I tell you what, Cam, my heart is pounding because my biggest free agent acquisition, I've been talking to him all day, and now it's time to sign a contract. I don't know if he works nights or what the deal is, but he my number one corner, man, and right now he a no-show. So, but we gonna keep it moving, man, and we'll see what happens. I got a plan B in case something work out, but hopefully it don't come to that.
Hey, I just got to say, Hunter said in the chat, Eddie has needed audio people since Nixon was in office. So there you go. That's a good comment right there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, man. Well,
let's go.
While you're waiting on that, dude, let's get to the first one.
Well, as you know, I lost a couple of my offensive linemen. Denver over there putting in work, and oh damn! You know what? I'm not even sure if they signed. My bad.
Oh yeah,
but
don't do that.
No, I lost some offensive linemen. I lost 3 of them, so I had to go to work, and I want to thank. I nicknamed her the closer because when we have a hard time getting it done, she tries to stay out of the way, but sometimes we got to pull her back in, have her put her GM hat on. So without further ado, Cam, go ahead and hit that refresh button, and you'll see that we have signed Kiera Storm. She goes by these days. Offensive lineman over from Canton. Glad to have her on the field. She is very excited. Can't wait to get in the locker room. She's been communicating with us just as much as we have with her. And so it's going to be a pleasure getting her on the squad.
I know offensive line's a big deal for you, Eddie. So that's a big signing for you. Where are we going next?
Next up, out of retirement, Cam, the guy retired because he had real life stuff going on and could not continue his SFL career, had to put it on pause, and actually reached out to me late in the season, said, Eddie, what's going on in AZ? I said, wait a minute, what?
Chad already signed, what? Eddie.
No, the hell with that guy. He's a traitor. So I reached in my hat, Cam, go ahead and hit the refresh button and back to join the Red Sea.
Nice.
My man, Sean Kruger. I love that dude, man. This dude retired on a defensive line because he saw Ashley get sacked about 90 times in one game. And it says, Eddie, I want to help out the Red Sea. So, yo, brother, glad to have you back on the squad. I got a couple other offensive linemen returning to the squad, but they work nights, so I can't get a hold of them right now. They busy doing whatever the hell they do for a living, but hopefully in the morning they'll see that and sign a dotted line. Next up, what the hell is it? Oh, brother. Oh, man, I forgot to hit up my guy before the show. Damn it. Yo, you know who? I got a couple people to call. I supposed to do it before the show, and I forgot. Fuck. But, sorry, Kim.
Family show.
Sorry.
Gosh.
But I got to call a couple of people because I have a pact with a few individuals, but just know it was not me who reached out, but I wanted to let them know before this signing came across the board because I didn't want them to be shocked by it because I have a pact with a few individuals. But just know it was not me. But hit the refresh button, Cam. Rejoining the squad. Left us a long time ago to play with his BFF over there in Portland. Went to Atlanta for a quick stint, and now he is back home where he rightfully belongs with the Scorpions.
Bernard Smith is back, and Eddie's back in the swear jar. $1.3 million for Bernard Smith signing with Arizona, and it's so far it's like a renewal tour for the Scorpions.
Oh yeah. Come on, man. I mean, once you're in Arizona, it's only a matter of time before you come back home, man. Let's be real.
By the way, if you're ever in need of if you're ever feeling down in the middle of a show and maybe there might be a little bit of a lull, Just bring Eddie on. He'll wake you up. You don't need no coffee with Eddie around. All right, so Lynn Ramos, this dude in the chat. All right, who's next?
Hey, one of my friends I've been trying to contact just hit me up. Hey, bro, sign the contract, man. But before I get to him, I got one more signing. Man, I lost Giovanni Diggs, Nathaniel Diggs, as you guys know him. Man, he was one of my favorite all-time Scorpions. He was in a VC every game day, spoke up every day, and now he's a co-owner over there in Washington. I wish him nothing but the best, except for when he playing nuts. I hope he spanked that ass. But oh damn, sorry, Cam, sorry. But I had to replace him, and I'm replacing one all-star with another. Cam, go ahead and hit that refresh button.
Nice, Adam Wiseman. But I gotta call Steve Harvey and get you on the feud, because I can't think of a better pairing with your, Steve Harvey will clean that math out. Adam Wiseman, outside linebacker.
Yes, love him. Spoke to him right after I found out Diggs was hanging up the Arizona Scorpion jersey and heading over to Washington. And I think he was the first linebacker I called, and that conversation was about maybe 15 seconds before he said, "Eddie, where do I sign? I'm coming to Arizona." It was just that quick. Chad told me a lot of good things about him. I also met him at the convention a couple of times. So he's going to help us run some sims. And looking forward to getting him in the locker room. And can't wait to get him inside that coach's channel and get to work with him, because I don't want to do this by myself. Yayo has been a great addition, but he's busy with life. And toward the tail end of the season, I was kind of running things solo. And to get him on board is going to be a great addition.
Adam, $1.75 million, adding to that Arizona defense with J.R. Lawless, Sean Moore at linebacker. The team is certainly filling out. You got any more, Eddie?
Let me see if he signed yet, because half the people I talked to, no, he still ain't signed it yet, so I can't tell you. But he just hit me a DM about 2 minutes ago, so I think he's trying to log in. Man, you know what, Cam? I don't know what's going on, but like half the roster today had to reset their password. Like, bro, get it together, man. Write it down somewhere. I don't know what to tell y'all. Come on, man. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you either have two choices, Eddie. Either you save it in the computer and you share all your information with the world, or you got to find where the hell a pen and paper is these days. So it's tough out there.
It's tough out there. I don't know, man. I'm the older figure. I'm supposed to be the one having the problems. I mean, goodness, man, it can't be that hard.
Well, you got 23 signings across the wire right now. Wait
a minute. I think he just signed it. Hold on, let me hit the refresh button. Yeah, he just signed it. I almost had to go to Plan B, but there you go, coming through in the clutch. But Cam, as you know, Bo left us, and he wanted to be a running back, start his career over as a running back, and fulfill his dreams of scoring touchdowns, since 2K4 won't let cornerbacks score as many touchdowns as we used to. But hey, he can't cry, because I ain't got none. At least he got a few. But, he wanted to fulfill his dreams of being a running back, so I blessed him, And we got started late in the process of trying to find someone, But this dude right here, I looked him up, and I'm like, man, this dude got a pretty good bill. And, he, in some areas, he's better than Bo, but he needs to work on some tackling and some run coverage and stuff like that. But he's a solid number one corner. Cam, go ahead and hit that refresh button.
Xavier Rue the third.
Yes. This guy, excellent cover corner. Man, that he is locked down. He got to get in the weight room a bit and work on some strength and some, like I say, some run coverage and stuff like that. But other than that, solid guy. Can't wait to get him in the locker room, because I seen him kind of talking, because I watch everything, Cam, and he's really involved in the chat, but he kind of takes it personal when he get beat, which I love. So we gonna work on him and get him right, and he gonna be a great addition to the Scorpion backfield. I can't wait to get him in the locker room.
So you got Xavier Rowe, and you also have Rain Rie. Gerald Smith's gonna love calling y'all's games next season.
Yeah, that's that occasion. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Any last thoughts on anything you've seen tonight around the league as we get going for season 24?
Oh my God! Like we just talked about, I had been hearing about the potential sale of Canton, but you never know till you know. I don't care who you talk to. Some of the best sources sometimes get it wrong, but I'm happy to see Talon become a part of ownership. Met him a few times at the convention. The guy can talk your ear off. I'm sure Ray probably dozed off on her a couple of times when he was driving her back home to Louisiana from the convention because he talked so much. But other than that, solid dude, and he coming over to my division, so I can't wait to get it cracking with him. We'll see how that goes down. DC Cam, bro, they needed help on offense in terms of depth, and they got it. Oh my goodness,
They
man.
did.
They are gonna look solid. I mean, they already had a great coaching staff, but they were playing behind the 8 ball in terms of talent on the field, and I'm sure that as much of a ball player as they had in Prococo, she's gonna welcome that help so that she isn't getting double and triple teamed every damn game.
And kudos to them for recognizing their weakness and
addressing it.
Yep, that's right. So, Eddie, I appreciate you being on the show. Congrats on all the success in Arizona. And, I feel like I've been saying it a lot tonight because I feel like a lot of teams are on the cusp of championship number 1. Mexico City got their second, but their first in a long time. So, maybe there's some new firsts out there, but maybe this is your year, Eddie, and best of luck to you. Thanks for being here.
Stephon Forge, they're signing it, and Minnesota Cam, great signing. He's going to help that coaching staff. Oh, my goodness. But appreciate you having me, Cam. Arizona, I love y'all, man. I can't talk like I want to, Cam. I'm sick. But let's go get this championship, man. Mexico City inspired me, bro. Let's go.
Thanks, Eddie. I was going to say, is he going to say it? He's got to say it, right? So that's a look at Arizona and some of their big signings coming across. The Scorpions, once again, will be a championship contender in season 24. There's no doubt about that. All right. Let's see if what we may have missed here along the wire. How about Jukin Rukin coming back into the league? He's going to be in Bossier City, $1.08 million. So Rukin is back. Joe Beasley leaving Nashville to go to Queen City. Is that Queen City's 5th wide receiver? They only had 1 at the end of last year. A huge improvement for Queen City, $1.23 million, and Michael Brown, their new quarterback. Josh Vasquez leaving D.C. and signing with Oklahoma City, $2.45 million. A huge get for Oklahoma City on the defensive side of the ball. That may be their most important signing yet. Big signing, Josh Vasquez going to Oklahoma City. All right, let's reset here. 289 players have signed coming across the wire. Coming up next, Luis Gonzalez of Fort Worth. We'll talk about where the Toros sit and all their signings as the Free Agency Frenzy show for SFL Season 24 rolls on the Virtual Football Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Free Agency Frenzy. Now with us on the show is one of the owners of the Fort Worth Toros, Luis Gonzalez. Luis, what's going on tonight, man?
Not a whole lot, man. Just looking at all these free agency signings, man. There's a lot of definitely some surprises out there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on around the league, no question. You want to start there? What caught your attention?
I've known Dunhill was going to end up signing with somebody. I figured it was Carolina, but I wasn't going to ask him and make him void that free agency signing. But my biggest surprise, I think, is got to be Ace Finette, because from leaving BCS to go to Pitt, I don't know. I just find that to be an odd move, but at the end of the day, it is whatever makes him happy. A funny move is always seeing like who's going to be who's going to win the Wild sweepstakes every other offseason, I guess. It's always fun to see that, follow that around.
Yeah, Atlanta won that sweepstakes this season. Now I know you all had a first round exit against Charleston, but yet another successful season, another playoff appearance for Fort Worth. But I just hadn't gotten to speak with you in a while, but I know that some guys on Fort Worth have been going through some tough times, and it really does, talking about Mexico City and them winning the championship, it really does kind of have to line up, everything perfectly aligned to go win one of those titles, right? And I know that you guys have been going through it, so I'm sure Fort Worth will be back and better than ever, right?
Oh, you hit the nail on the head, man. You got to have a little bit of luck. Everything's got to happen. Everything's got to fall in line. Whenever it comes to this league, nobody has a formula that's going to be able to fix everything, or have the right play call here or there, whatever. But yeah, like you're saying, it's having the right timing and the right people in place, and making sure your personal life is also in line. Making sure everybody has their subscriptions in line. There's, especially nowadays with the losing players in the middle of the season, whenever it comes to them not paying their subscription. But yeah, it's with life, it can get in the way. It's a very intensive league. You have to put a lot of attention towards your game planning. So yeah, man, life hurts sometimes.
Well, a lot of big names are back. E.K. Vincent, $2.38 million. You got Jerry D. gone, $2.6. Of course, Luther gone, Jeff Duffy. This is the staple. This is Toros football on the defensive front. You got Bacon and Alexander back in the backfield. You just won't let Stephen Hacker retire. He's back in the fold with Henry McGee and Cade Stevens. So what's the outlook for Fort Worth coming up this season before we get to free agency?
And we're pretty solid whenever it comes to our retention. Hacker can't ever retire. We try every season to try to do something for him, but he just can't get it done. So he's still sticking around. Henry McGee will be our new wide receiver 1. So we're gonna have a bit of a new look offense. We have some pieces coming in. They're gonna shake things up. Losing Dunhill changes our style as well. He's a speedy quarterback that can just take off on you. So we're kind of moving a little bit away from that, because not a lot of quarterbacks can pull that off. So yeah, but most of our team is sticking around, and we're gonna give it another shot. Everybody's very excited, and whenever it comes to our championship aspirations, everybody's there. Everybody's on the same page, and we all know what we're going for.
I'm sure nobody's happier to see Dunhill leave the division than Mike Daggs. But the question that I think people are wondering is who the new quarterback is going to be in Fort Worth, and do we have that answer tonight?
Well, I think we do. We've been talking this guy. We've been talking to him actually a couple seasons now, because this Dunhill thing, it's been a process. So Dunhill almost retired on us a couple seasons ago. Last season, I think, is what it was. Sorry, I'm trying to remember, because it's all a blur at a certain point. But we've been talking to this guy, and we had him in line. It just didn't work out, so he went somewhere else, and now we're able to actually get him signed and get him onto the team now that Dunhill stepped away. And if you want to go ahead and hit the refresh button, you'll see who it is.
The new Fort Worth quarterback is Eric Price, $2.12 million. He was in Pittsburgh last season along with Michael Brown. Didn't really find a fit there. He also was, I believe, in Vegas and in Denver. So this is a guy, Luis, that's probably just looking to win some games, right? And maybe prove that he can be that guy.
And we think he can be that guy. His build is there. He's a great team player. He's, from what I've known from him, just in my conversations for the past 2-3 seasons trying to recruit him, he's gonna fit in well, and we're not gonna miss a beat to what we've always done, win games.
So big one there for Fort Worth, getting Eric Price under wraps. Anything else potentially across the wire tonight?
We do have another one coming in later on tonight, and it'll be another splash play for some people.
Well, we'll be on the lookout for that. While I have you on the line here, just looking at the updated signings. Anthony Ellison for Charleston rolled in, but things have gone just a little bit quiet. What's a team out there that you're looking kind of out of the corner of your eye now to say, they might be a problem?
Man, Arizona is always a problem. They just flooded the list here, so it's kind of tough to get away from them. They like he said, they've reloaded, I guess is what the correct terminology would be there.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's reloaded, I think is what the term is. But Albuquerque as well. I'm surprised to see some of the names going there, like Kyle Fenimore. Kyle Fenimore is going to be a good fit for them. I feel like they're not going to miss a beat either. I think those two are the big ones that come out to me.
Yeah, I think Albuquerque, they answered their kicker problems with Rob Ems. Atlanta answered their backup running back problems with Hubba Kimbrels. DC answered their wide receiver issues with 3 new wide receivers. So you see these teams kind of really on top of their weaknesses. How did you see maybe your weaknesses in Fort Worth last season, Nacho, and kind of what's y'all's plan to attack it?
And you hit them. I mean, you called it out right there. There's weaknesses whenever it comes to like a wide receiver. For the depth, right? We're going to talk about depth, especially with the stamina issues you start running into with having wide receivers. One of your top 3 wide receivers be a kick returner or a punt returner. You miss out on a lot there. But yeah, and you're going to add on to the running back situation as well. Not having 2 running backs. We thought we could pull it off last season, but it was kind of detrimental. We had to supplement a lot of that running with quarterback play and running or fullback play and having your receivers run the ball. And at that, you run into depth issues whenever you're running your wide receivers, and now they're having stamina issues, etc. So the depth is a big thing in this league now. I remember back in the day we would just do 11 players and we're good to go. But yeah, you got to have depth. You got to make sure that you're running your four wide receiver sets with your starters, your 3 wide receiver sets, not having a backup falling in line there, tight ends, etc. The littlest things end up mattering a lot.
So I guess it's easy to say that we'll be seeing a second running back in Fort Worth. We just don't know who yet, but
yes, you will.
Yeah, must be a big part of your plans. All right, well, Luis, thanks so much for joining us on the show, and congrats to all the success every season in Fort Worth. You're always in the mix, and looking forward to see what y'all do with Eric Price under center.
Thank you, man. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, that was Luis Gonzalez. Always a wonderful time chatting with him here on the Free Agency Frenzy Show. We got a couple more across the wire. This comes from Bossier City. Anthony Anderson leaving Indianapolis and signing with the Steamers, a little over $1 million, helping Bossier City's offensive line. And Rob Noel also leaving Indianapolis to go to Bossier City and the Steamers. $1.1 million, so that's a big one for Bossier City. Let's take a look at the Steamers. Now, 5 free agents deep. Dave Axis and Pink Lisa are also back on the squad. So Bossier City quietly here tonight is up to, I believe that's 21 players on the roster there on your screen. Oh, and it just came through. Johnny Pickler is the new quarterback in Bossier City. Oh my goodness, that could not have come at a more perfect time in the show, as we were kind of had a little bit of a lull waiting for our next guest. Johnny Pickler to Bossier City. Wow, that is huge. A $3 million contract. That was a bit of a stunner as Indianapolis continues to completely, rework and transform their squad. But Bossier City gets a huge signing in free agency. Him along with Vin Callia will now pair up. And I believe that Pickler and Callia were teammates in London. But Callia and Bamfield and Axis and all of that. Woo, that's a big one for Frank Wade and the rest of the Steamers. That one just coming across the wire. All right, still to come on the show, we've got Damon Simeon coming up. The boys in Nashville, Jay Ballmer and Danny Carmichael, and Robert Thump of Washington will get us talking about the Trident for the first time tonight as we round out the Free Agency Frenzy Show, Season 24 of the SFL, right here on the Virtual Football Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Free Agency Frenzy Show, SFL Season 24. Now on the line is Damon Simeon, the owner of the Houston Headhunters. Damon, how you doing?
What's up, Cam? I'm doing great. H-Town, what it do?
Awesome to have you here. Let's get a refresher on what we've seen so far tonight from Houston. Plenty of signings come across, but Josh Slapp, $3.3 million, might steal the show. He was great last season in Houston and was, quite frankly, an Offensive Player of the Year candidate. How does it feel to have Josh back?
it's always great to have Josh Slap back, and he has been the workhorse for this team for the past 3 seasons. Should we say since we made the move to the 2K4 game system engine. And man, Josh Slap is just a beast of a running back. When you go into your game planning and you see that he's outperforming the starter, and you say, hey Cam, I need you to start Josh Slap this week because he give us the better chance of winning. That's Josh Slap.
Hey, Damon, all the Brett Killians out there want to know, is DR Sim retiring?
That is a great question to ask, but only time can tell tonight. We'll find out.
All right, man. Well, I know you got some free agents to get to, so where you want to start?
Let's start. I got one right here. Yeah, go ahead and refresh. Let's go ahead and knock him off the socks with this one right here first.
All right, we'll start with Blake B. Craze leaving Louisiana and going to Houston.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy how this became full circle. I tried to get Blake B. Craze some seasons ago, and he ended up signing with his dad. I didn't know Gerald was his dad that season. I was trying to recruit him when he was leaving London. That was funny. But yeah. So we finally were able to get him come in, and we're going to take advantage of Blake's pass rushing ability. See if we can get after the quarterback. And that speed he has as well, man. 83 speed for a defensive end. For an outside linebacker, and 84 pass rush. And he's no slouch in the run coverage game as well. Great tackling rating at 88. That's exactly a nice outside linebacker rate that to have on your squad.
Garrett Evans, Chris Britton III, Blake B. Craze now a part of that linebacking group in Houston. All right, who's next?
I got 2 more here for you, Cam. Go ahead, buddy. Hit that refresh button for me.
Let's go Mac Dre, leaving Indianapolis and going to Houston, a little over $1 million, helping out on that defensive line.
Yeah, Mac Dre, man. The thing about this league here, dude, I love is that when you're able to get a chance to have a conversation with someone, and then that person can hear the sincerity that's in your heart and the pitch that you're making to them, that's what happened with Mac Dre. We just had a great conversation talking about where he's from, where I'm from. He's originally from California, living in Ohio now. And we just had some great conversations, man. But that dude fell in love with my pitch and the way how, I see him fitting into this defense and how we're going to use him or so. So he basically committed right there on the phone live for me. So that was an amazing situation, or conversation, should I say, we had.
And then CJ Parrish is the next guy off the dev squad, but has been, he's spent his time in Lexington, but has played for you as well. But this guy is really sort of ascending right now.
Yeah, CJ Parrish, man. That dude there, he really didn't want to leave Houston because we drafted him. And when he had the opportunity to go elsewhere to Lexington to, try to see if he can get more touches, because he was number 4 on the depth chart behind DR Sim, Mike St. Green, Greg Corky. He was number 4, and I think Ryan Davis was number 5 on the depth chart at the time when we had those guys on the team in season 22. So he went over to Lexington, and I reached out to him. I said, hey man, I have a plan in stock for you, and you should be able to get a whole lot more touches than what you did in season 22. He didn't have no touches, but last season he had some touches, but I felt that he could, I have the plan that I have for him. He can be more involved into the offense. He's going to be a whole lot more involved in this offense.
He probably just got tired of Gabriel Manning. He's like,
I think that's what happened.
That's enough of that.
That's exactly what happened, Cam. You may be onto something right there.
So Paris is back in Houston to join Mike St. Green and perhaps DR Sim at wide receiver. What else you got for us tonight?
All right. You can refresh. I just sent some more out your way. Then I got 2 more last for you here.
So Blake Prine, Jason Peace, and Daisy Peace, obviously off the developmental squad, also back with the team. So A few more signings there. Prine at 1.6, Jason Peace at 1.6, Daisy Peace at 1.5. So a lot of big swingers right there.
Yeah, Daisy is going to be a great addition this season in this offense. You talk about a tight end Cam with 94 speed. You know, I mean, she's the fastest tight end in the league right now. She has route running, I think about 80, somewhere in the 80s. Her catching is up there in the 80s as well. Daisy Peace is going to be a weapon that teams is going to have to pay attention to. I mean, that is going to be a toy that I'm enjoying, loving to play with before Christmas morning, and I mean playing with within the video game, not Jason Peace's wife.
I wasn't thinking that, but I'm glad you clarified.
Just in case he thought that, you know. But yeah,
man, we gotta. Hey, all I can say is we gotta get you and Eddie back on a call. If tonight's any indication.
So then you see it, you know, 84 speed, 84 catch, and look at the route running there, 80 as well. You know, agility is 81. You know, so we're talking about a real athletic tight end. Pretty much more of a Vernon Davis type, right?
Say again, Damon.
I'm saying we talk about a very good tight end here, a very athletic tight end, pretty much similar to Vernon Davis.
Yeah. Yep. So I think the question the chat has is who's throwing to these guys? Do we have that tonight?
There you go. Refresh.
That is John Lakeman. And look, DR Sim is back. Sorry, Brett. John Lakeman, $2 million, comes over from Charleston and is headed to Houston.
Just can't say DR Sim is coming back. Look at the position.
Oh, I missed that. Running back. Pulling a page out of Harish Prasad's book. Look at that.
Yeah. We had some Shepard McCarron end up deciding to not return to the league this season, and when I got notice that he was going to be retiring or so, but when I got ready to when it was time for me to reach out to other running backs to try to get those guys, you know, to come and play with us, everybody had already committed elsewhere, you know, and so we basically, me and my front office team, we had to come up with a decision in what we was going to do, and guys of Blake Prime, John Lakeman, who is now our president of player development, and along with Jason Peace, our defensive coordinator, and so forth. Those guys, we all got together and started collaborating as far as what would be the best option as far as moving one of these wide receivers to running back, and you know, it was a no-brainer that Sim was the best option for us to go with.
And Brett is celebrating in the chat, Damon, that he has a chance to catch you. I think you probably know in your heart that he has no chance, right? So you were it was pretty safe for you to go to running back?
Yeah, it was. He has no chance. He has no chance of catching any of those records. Because although he may have a season, I heard Brett say earlier that he's going to be like, I think he said 2,000 to the 2K club of receiving yards. Did I hear that correctly?
Yep, he did.
Brett, you hit 2K, I'm going back to receiver fast.
And hey, Brett, maybe next season you need the 10:30 slot, because now you have no answer to getting one up here by Damon Simeon here in the late block. So Lakeman is going to Houston to be the quarterback, and Sim is now a running back over there, paired with Josh Slapp, hoping to find maybe some magic that Carolina found moving wide receivers into the backfield last season. Any others tonight, Damon?
If I am not mistaken, sir, I think that's all that I have for you right now. I got a couple of more that's out there. Guys just haven't signed them as of yet, but yeah, that's it.
Anything big around the league that is on your mind that you've seen tonight and thought, wow, that was unexpected?
The Hanzo move to Atlanta. I was not expecting that, and I think it's long overdue for Shan and Mark to get together and play together, because those two guys are probably the best of friends in this league. Talk about the first convention, Cam. Shan drove up to the Atlanta area, pick up Mark, and then those guys hitchhiked, to the middle of the country to Houston. I mean, not to Houston, to Dallas, Fort Worth area in Irving, Texas there, to meet everyone there at the convention. Not only that, they stopped and picked up Jeremy Vega on the way. So
And they went to Vegas together too. They were in Vegas for that convention all the way across the country. So, yeah, it is kind of funny that they've never been on the team and never played with each other, but now having an opportunity to do so in Atlanta, it's a big deal.
Yeah, that was a big signing there for me that I really liked and enjoyed to see. That's good.
All right, Damon. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. Congrats on all the big signings in Houston, and looking forward to seeing what the Headhunters can do this season as y'all push for the playoffs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Damon. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was Damon Simeon of the Houston Headhunters with us. The Nashville Tempo come your way next. Jay Ballmer and Danny Carmichael are going to talk about what they're seeing in Nashville, because right now we're not seeing anything. So some big signings from Nashville, I'm sure, coming up on the Free Agency Frenzy Season 24 show on the Virtual Football Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Free Agency Frenzy in Season 24. We got a couple of free agent signings to get to. Casper Haddock is out of Queen City, going to Indianapolis, a $1 million deal there. King Jamal is leaving Canton and going to Indianapolis. So Indianapolis loses Jack Russell, but gains King Jamal, a $2.44 million contract. As the Canton era is over, the Sin City era will begin once they have everything all together over there. Mike Scott is back in Los Angeles. Darko Young's back in Chicago. Bobo Caudell is back in Vancouver. Monty Wyatt, Brogan Spiraw back in L.A. as well, Nick Brummer. Before we bring on our next guests, I do want to take a look at what's going on with Indianapolis here. There's been a lot of movement. They have 5 returners across the wire right now, and they have 8 new faces. So a lot of new faces in Indianapolis. But next is all about the Nashville Tempo, and we've got Jay Ballmer and Danny Carmichael with us here tonight. Gentlemen, how are we doing? Great to have you on the show.
Excited, man. Thanks for having us on.
Greetings and salutations. I hate Texas teams.
Jay, Demond is gone. It's okay. You're going to be all right.
Okay. All right.
He's out of the building. You're safe. All right, so guys, we haven't talked a single word about Nashville yet, but we're going to talk a lot of tempo in the next 13 minutes. So, Danny, whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm trying to push them through right now, and so let's see. You could go ahead and refresh.
Justin resides in the chat. Nashville about to do a contract dump right now. You better believe it. There's 7 across the wire right there for us. All re-signings: Jeff Gagne, Victor Ironleg, Switch Thumper, Sean Sanders, Tommy Powers, Jay Ballmer, and Chris Delro off the dev team, now playing free safety. You want to talk about those guys?
Oh, yeah, no, I was about to say, super excited to get everybody back. I mean, just to be completely honest, was super excited that, any of them even gave Nashville a shot to begin with. And so just being able to retain everybody. Chris moving to free safety, that'll help us a lot because I know we didn't have a contract in free safety. And he's built his player up so well in the dev team. He's going to be an absolute force in the secondary for us.
And also Guy Clausen and Al Friedman are back. Clausen at wide receiver at $1.5 million. Nashville had a lot of volume last season, Danny, but the talent was sort of in development. Do you feel like your team's going to be a little bit more talented this season? Maybe that was the difference between making the playoffs and missing it last year.
I definitely think so. So we kind of went into last season with the idea that we were going to have to kind of develop over the course of a season. And so with all of our the dev guys that we had and then with who we have returning, who I'm about to be able to announce here in a second, we should be definitely ready to compete for a playoff spot this year for sure. I know we did this past year, but we should absolutely be a force in the East this season.
Hammy Wheeler's back as well at tackle. Now let's talk about the first free agent, Bentley Bonner is back as well, and Dylan Bamsler. So again, a lot of those dev team guys, you guys are getting back and retaining. We're still rolling through the re-signings here, right, Danny?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and release a couple of our free agent signings here along with the re-signing. And so if you go ahead and refresh here in a second. Real quick, though, just with Dylan Bamsler, absolutely love Dylan. He's another one who's done a phenomenal job going through and progressing his player on the dev team. We're going to move him back to strong safety where he originally was. We just had a desperate need at linebacker this past season. So he moved down to help us out. We're moving him back up with, now that we have a full linebacker core and everything.
All right, let's Jay, how are you feeling about the squad and what's your role in this off-season process been like?
Me, I'm just the offensive coordinator trying to get this offense going. Last season, it was kind of lackluster of how to, try to be balanced on everything. But now that we have Chris Arthur, who is one heck of a tight end that played with Denver, coming to us, this offense is going to be better than last season.
6'6", 260, $2.1 million. Danny, talk about the Chris Arthur side.
Oh, yeah, no, we definitely love how much work that Chris has put into progressing his glutes in the dev team. He wanted me to say that so badly. And so, but no, he I was about to say he's another guy who 90 speed, 91 catch, 79 route run and everything. And it's been an absolute pleasure to get to, talk more with Chris and then also Brenda as well. It basically RC, Brenda and Chris are all family. And so being able to go through and, let them team up on the same team, and then all of them are going to start for us and definitely have a huge impact in, our season 24 run and everything.
Yeah, let's get to Brenda now. Brenda off a Denver team. Denver's making a lot of noise tonight, but they're not going to make noise with Brenda. She's going to Nashville. How that you kind of mentioned briefly how that came about, but what do you feel like you have in her on the defensive line?
Oh, awesome defensive tackle. If there was a time we wanted to play a 3-4, perfect nose tackle, and so 88 pass rush, 87 run coverage, fantastic attributes, and then Just honestly speaking, it's so fun to watch RC, Brenda, and Chris joke around. Just so far from conversations I've had with them and everything, and so it's going to be an absolute blast having them all in the locker room together.
So we've got, I'm looking about, I think 15 signings across the wire. Any others for us tonight, Danny?
Oh yeah, just pushed 3 more across, and I'm don't get me wrong, I'm excited about all of them, but these 3 I'm very excited about the impact that they'll have, not only on the field, but then also in our front office and coaching staff. And so
I want to go to Jay here for a sec. Kingston Ellington, a wide receiver, 6'5", 220. This guy, I mean, I've been really impressed with him in his time at Jacksonville in Louisiana. I'm sure you're happy to have that piece as well.
I am happy to have Kingston Ellington back. When I was with Jacksonville, man, I missed him so much. Yeah, this is one big piece that I really wanted to bring on my team. Couldn't have him last season, but glad to have him this season.
So you get Kingston. You also, Danny, get Tino Sosa on this offense at running back, $2.4 million. Was on the dev team, coming over from Indy. But again, this is a team that is really, is really sort of building talent. Very similar to Lexington in that way, that you guys have sort of invested in a lot of developmental talent, and I think it's going to pay off for you guys. I'm sure you feel the same way.
Oh, absolutely. And so again, I know I've been saying this with some of our signings that we've already gone through and talked about, but I mean, Tino and Zach are 2 more dev players that just have done a phenomenal job just staying on top of progressions. One of the things I really liked, so not only just talking with Tino and Zach, are they awesome, and then I'd be remiss if I didn't say I wasn't so incredibly excited about Kingston joining us. You have no idea. Our talks last offseason I thought went really well. I was pretty bummed whenever he didn't join us. So when I tell you I was over the moon whenever he told us he was coming for season 24. But Tino and Zach, every single week I go through and I look and see, hey, have our dev players progressed? What about our SFLM guys? And every single week, Tino and Zach are 2 of the very first dev players, let alone I just think overall players in the league that progress every single week. Just their enthusiasm for the league speaks volumes, and I'm so happy to have that sort of enthusiasm added to our locker room.
On the defensive side, Zach Benjamin comes over from Bossier City, another dev team guy at outside linebacker, $1.67 million, a former number 1 pick. I know that he was kind of searching for a new home and a new lease on life. He found it in Nashville. What were your conversations with Zach like?
Oh, absolutely awesome. So I had approached him last offseason. He had already committed to returning to Bossier City, and so we just stayed in contact throughout the season. And then he had mentioned that he was going to go through and test free agency, and so of course I'm like, hey, how about Nashville? And so basically he's going to go through and he's going to be part of our front office and our coaching staff. And so I'll be able to go through and announce that finally, but I definitely wanted to let him have his moment. Tino Sosa, there's a good chance that he's actually going to join our staff as a scout as well. And so adding not only 2 great, just overall people to our locker room, but honestly, just the impact that they're going to have on the field and off the field locker room and coaching staff front office is just huge. And so just super, super excited about everybody that we've signed. And I have one more that I was going to push across. Gotta save the best for last. And so
talking about Walters?
Oh yeah. Love James.
Yep.
He's such a fantastic head coach. And so I wanted to definitely wanted to give James his moment, thank him for all of his hard work that he's put into just everything regarding, he's been sending contracts out, playbook every single week, whether it's SFLM, SFL. Same goes to Jay for playbooks and everything. The 2 of them do a fantastic job for our coaching staff. And so, definitely wanted James to get a moment here.
Jay, how's James been for you? I think James is, he's one of those guys in the league that hasn't necessarily built a Hall of Fame resume, but feels like a Hall of Famer around here. How do you feel about working with him?
It feels actually great working with this man. Ever since I wanted to try to become a coach for this league, I started off in the minors. I worked it up with James. Didn't know nothing about it, so I decided, you know what? Hey, what the heck? Let me just go ahead and try it out and see what happens. The first time I started coaching, won the minor league championship. So that's the first of everything. But, you know, going through this with James is a blast, and love to continue this even more.
Danny, last question for you, unless you have something else come across the wire. But last question for you. The division's reshuffled again today, but Nashville stays in the same East Division where you finished 5th despite a 6-6 record. You beat Canton last season, right? You had a lot of amazing moments, but how do you feel about this East and what you've seen out of your divisional opponents tonight?
No, I mean if anything, it got tougher. I saw some of the signings that Carolina had, and they did a phenomenal job with free agency from what I saw for sure. Atlanta too. Getting I know they got Roosevelt and Wyo, Zach Lay as well, and so Hubba Kimbrell. And so, it was an already extremely tough division. Only got tougher tonight, but I honestly think once all of our signings come across the board, which we still have probably about 7 or 8 left who haven't got a chance to sign yet. I think I truly believe we're going to be a contender in the East this year.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and congrats on all the success in Nashville. And can't wait to see what the Tempo do in their encore for the second season.
Awesome. Thanks for having us on, Cam.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Wow, what a night, and what a big signing dump there from Nashville. Let's take a look at the big board here as we had those guys on for a while. You can see they dominated the signings as we come down the stretch of tonight's show. Up to 336 contracts in the books here tonight. Last but not least, the Washington Trident, without a signing across the line. Robert Thump is going to have all the news about the team's newest team out west. And that division is going to be quite interesting. Robert Thump leads the charge coming up to end our show right here on SFL Free Agency Frenzy, Season 24 on the Virtual Football Network. We'll take one last break, and we'll be right back. We are back on SFL Free Agency Frenzy. You can see the most up-to-date contracts across the wire. It's Hugo Reynosa just getting in for the Denver Nightwings. Hey, we've had 100+ pretty much all night, 3 hours straight. You know, I'm always impressed by the enthusiasm around the SFL, especially when no one is losing. It always seems better when no one is losing. All Christopher with the shout out for the nice work tonight. I appreciate you. Appreciate that. And thank you all for watching throughout the evening. Our last guest is Robert Thump, the owner of the Washington Trident, and happy to have him on board as we close out the night. Robert, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm great. Looking forward to seeing what this next era of Trident football has for us. Boy, the West Division sure got a surprise today. That's going to be a very interesting division.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to it. You know, iron only sharpens iron, and a good, strong division, you know, is only going to help us get better in the long run. So I am ready. I'm excited, and I can't wait.
All right, ready for some contracts?
Yeah, let's do it. Pushing across. Let's see. Let's push across about 4 of them right now.
All right, we've got Shane Kaufman, Christopher Dean, Julian Gusters, and King Alexander back with the squad. Of course, as I mentioned earlier tonight, some logos are out of date. We're waiting on our programmer for that.
Right.
But, yeah, you get the idea. But Kaufman, Dean, Gusters, Alexander back. Tell us about those 4 guys.
Yeah, so I'm thrilled. You know, Shane came on to ownership. He's taking a little bit of a pay cut coming back this year because we got a few more guys. And I can't wait. I'm thrilled. You know, Dean and Shane did a great job for us last year. And then when you hit refresh, you'll see a buttload more contracts, but you'll see the whole big reason we're all looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have those guys back. Kaufman, $1.9 million, and look, those guys in your backfield. Well, actually, 3 of them, quite frankly, to help shore that up.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, Shane came over with the move from wide receiver last year, and really kind of slid himself as RB2. And then this year, with the pay cut from the end of last season to what he's going into the season with, we're looking for him to have a breakout season. So I cannot wait.
All right, who's next?
All right, go ahead and refresh. You'll see a large influx.
Whoa! Okay, let's start with the offense. Johan Sutherland, Azami Mahata, Charles Michael, Bill McMillan, Phil McMillan, Robert Thump, Scott Pancake up front.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge, right? I'm making the move over to offensive line, kind of solidify us up there. Charles Michael was able to come over from Arizona for us, which is huge. And then Bill and Phil and Scott Pancake. I mean, what kind of team doesn't want that for a front of offensive line? So I'm thrilled. Mahata, tight end 1, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what he can do going forward. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, big moment for Mahata, who's not had a tight end 1 opportunity, right? So this is kind of his chance to shine.
Yeah, and he's been, you know, he was with St. Louis Motor City for what? Felt like 5-6 seasons, you know, if not more. I personally think he's more than earned that spot. So I can't wait for him to get his reps at tight end 1. Big body tight end who can make some great plays for us downfield. I'm thrilled for that.
Now let's talk about the defense. Tina Begin, Doug Howard, King McNeely up front. Let's start with Begin, who comes over from Arizona as well.
Yeah, so Tina Begin, she's gonna come over, play our defensive tackle spot, making that move from offensive line, and I can't wait for that. She's just a monster. Her and Doug Howard right up front. We're waiting on another defensive end right now, but King McNeely, he was on the dev team, made that move over to defensive end, and really just helping out. So I'm super thrilled for him going forward too.
At linebacker, Nicholas Warner, Kappa Jones, and then one of your co-owners, Nathaniel Diggs, over from Arizona. It's hard to steal 3 players from any team, but to steal them from Arizona, that's even tougher.
Yeah, and it's going to be 3, you know, interdivision, so it's going to just add fuel to that fire, which I'm looking forward to. You know, you bring in Nick Warner down from the safety position, down to that inside linebacker role where he's going to be next year, and I think he's going to shine. It's something I wanted to do last year, but we weren't able to due to some roster moves at the cutoff time. But going forward, I think he's just going to be a monster up the middle, and he's going to give some offensive coordinators in this league nightmares.
Now, in the secondary, Ryan Cook, Willie Bands, Albert Begin. I want to start with Albert, another guy that was over in Arizona, and I know is a big get for you and your staff.
Yeah, actually, Albert and Yayo, when they were in ACA, they taught me how to coach. They taught me a lot of things. So for me, it's just another mind in the room, right? He's come over as a defensive coordinator role in that front office, and I'm thrilled for that. Just to have somebody to bounce ideas off of, talk to, and get another set of eyes on there is never a bad thing, because 3-7 or 3-9 or whatever we finished as is BS, for lack of better terms, going forward. So we're doing our best to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Now, Ryan Cook comes over from Charleston, and he had some big games down the stretch of this season, really stepped up in some key moments. What's he going to bring to your secondary?
I mean, he's going to be great, right? We're going to have him in a CB2, CB3 type role. And he's gonna be a standout for us, man. He played so well at CHS. He's somebody I wanted to bring over last season before the season. Kind of the same thing with Willie too, as a free safety. I'm so excited to have these guys back there and really just solidify our back end, where I can toss them on whoever and not have to worry about who's we're going up against that week. So I think they're going to be some great guys.
I'm gonna butcher it. Ulrich Rugen, is that right?
Yeah. So our general manager, it was Mo Biggins. It was his player name. And with us having a full offensive line, we thought it'd be better to go ahead and go this route and do a little shifting at first. But we're going to bring him in back as a punter from season 17, I want to say 18. And we're going to bring him back, and he's going to be our punter for the season going forward.
$2 million punter.
$2 million punter.
What a life. What a life to make $2 million and be a punter.
Yeah, right. I mean, hopefully they're all just touchbacks, right? Or out of the end zone. So that's fine by me. Don't give them a chance.
That's right. So I'm counting about 21. Now, I know that you were waiting on a big signing to come through as well. Is that perhaps ready, or do we want to stall a little bit?
I think we want to stall a little bit. He's trying to work it right now to get in right now.
Okay. So what caught your attention around the league tonight?
Man, so I was really looking towards the rest of the division, honestly. Who's going where? Who's going? Eddie, how's he going to be able to replace Diggs over in Arizona? I think he did a great job. But I'm looking forward to seeing how we can stop that. Adam Weissman's a big piece. How do you defend against that guy when they have him, Xavier Rue, and they only get better in X corners, and you replace a Bo Martin Jr. with an Xavier Rue? My gosh. How do you get stronger? That's crazy almost.
Vancouver, reloading. They were 5-7 last season, but two big names in free agency with Sudduth and Russell. Los Angeles always has great retention, so their signings are coming through as well. And then we'll see what Sin City gives us. They're a little bit behind the 8 ball, but I have no doubts that they're going to be a pretty competitive team as well. And that West Division is definitely going to be a very interesting watch next season.
Yeah, I think whenever we can all get all of our signings through, it's going to be a definitely go from a strong division to a stronger division. My apologies. So I'm looking forward to it. I think, it's going to be a fun time, if nothing else.
Well, we're waiting on that last piece that we hopefully can get on the air for Washington here tonight. But it's been a big night just to set the stage for what's going on around the league. It is December 2nd today. The draft is taking place on December 14th, Saturday, December 14th. And then we'll also have the schedule release show sometime between now and December, I want to say 20th, sometime between then. We also have SFLM, the final week of the regular season. That is in 2 days, Wednesday, December 4th. And then those playoffs start on Sunday, December 8th. And Robert, San Jose and Albuquerque, the winner gets the 2 seed. The loser goes on the road in the wild card round to play the 5 seed, and I think those two are wearing throwback uniforms. It's a big rivalry down there with Albuquerque and San Jose. Did you get your start in the minor league? Where'd you start?
Yeah, so I played in minor league in San Jose, and then I got drafted by LA. So I definitely have a little bit of a interest in that and seeing who goes where and seeing how these guys do. I think this will be fun going forward.
For sure. Mexico City's the defending champs. You think
Huge.
You think after tonight they still got it?
I
Still
mean,
the favorite, I should
no.
say.
I'm going to say no because I think we can take them.
Washington's the favorite, huh?
Yeah, why not? Tell me why I'm not.
Well, you're right. Why not? I mean, I don't know anything.
Why not? No, I wouldn't say that. But I would say that, it's a new season. Anything can happen, right? And at this point, you don't win on this day, right? It goes a long way to help you in your season and everything else, but the season's never won tonight. That's why we have, all these weeks of games. I'm looking forward to it all in all. And I think it's going to be a great season up ahead. And I love the direction we're heading in.
Grant Hardaway's in for Atlanta. Ben Bowman is in for Charleston at outside linebacker. We've got a couple minutes left in the show, Robert, so hopefully we can get that signing in before we're done. But maybe in advance, tell us what excites you about this next signing.
Well, I mean, it's. I think for us, it's a new face of the franchise, new start, new direction, new culture shift. What we're trying to do in Washington, right? Majority of the guys we wanted to bring in, it was never solely about the player on the field. It was about what they can bring to the table as a person and what they can improve and help us out with, and what we can help them out with, what they want to do in the league and help them grow. So I think more important than anything, it's just getting the team as a whole together and building that culture to where everybody wants to be a part of it. And we have continued to build and build and build until we get to where we want to be every year, So I can't wait for it. I can't wait. I think we're in the right direction. And I think, bringing on people like Albert and Tina Begin and some of these other guys we're able to bring on is huge for us and going that way.
Well said. Looking forward to seeing the stadium and the uniforms and all that good stuff coming up in Washington. I'm sure the Washington-Vancouver game will be big as y'all try to establish a new rivalry up there as well. Rubber meets the road, Robert. Do we got it?
Refresh one more time. No, we don't have it, but I appreciate it though.
That's all right. We'll keep an eye out on the transaction log all night, tomorrow, all week long. There's going to be signings going through, and even though we won't be on the air, we will be keeping an eye on the transactions across the league as we prepare for season 24. Robert, thanks for joining us, and best of luck to you in Washington and getting a new chapter over there started.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate the call.
That was Robert Thump, owner of the Washington Trident and one of the newest faces in the SFL. You can see the map, the new map of SFL season 24. You've got the West, Vancouver, Washington, LA, Sin City, Arizona. You've got the South, Albuquerque, Fort Worth, Mexico City, Houston, and Bossier City. You've got the Central, Oklahoma City, Denver, Chicago, Indy, Minnesota, the East, Nashville, Atlanta, Charleston, Carolina, Florida, and the North, Lexington, DC, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Queen City. That'll do it tonight for us on the Free Agency Frenzy Show. Thank you all for joining us and all of your passion in the SFL each and every season. Season 24 right around the corner, and then our 25th season coming up, our 25th anniversary season in Baltimore to kick off season 25 at the 2025 convention. It could not be more perfect than that. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. This has been a presentation of the Virtual Football Network. I'm Cameron Irvine. Have a great night, everybody.